Hopefully you're feeling alright. Today we're back on the part 3, the last part of the AI system. Today we're gonna improve our character and the AI system. So basically, if you remember, we created on C-Pawn. When I made this personally, I was like, this is kinda shit, cause he can basically see us from anywhere in the whole map. So it's kinda fucked up. So we're gonna fix it. So whenever he cannot see us, he's basically gonna give up, just like you. If you don't wanna give up, press that like button. Thank you. Just click on the pawn sensing right here. And the green one, you can see the green circle-y thing, the green, I don't know. That's the sight. So right here, the sight, you can change it. For example, like 10, then he's basically blind. 5,000, then he can see everything, even your fucking search history, man. You can enable vision angles. So for example, 40 degrees. So he's kind of like, you know. So let's do 70. Compile and save it. So that's the range he can actually see us. So now back in the event graph, if you remember, this is the, we can actually comment this out. So basically casting, setting the boolean to true whenever he sees us. So let's do this color. So now we're gonna do a sequence. So let's do a sequence. Hopefully you know what's a sequence. If you don't, I'm not the right person to ask, so don't ask me, okay? Basically it's gonna do the 0 and then it's gonna do the 1. So we're gonna do, there's a thing called a retriggable delay. I didn't know that, so I was like quite surprised. So this is where actually we're gonna promote it to variable. Let's do duration of no player. We're gonna set it to, let's do 1 second. So when it completes, we're gonna do, just copy this, see the player, just paste that in, connect all the pins, the object to the pawn. That's basically it. And we're gonna set the boolean value to false, man, because we want him to not see us. So that's basically it. So we did it. That's all the smartness, all the knowledge. So if we play, so I'm still trying, and you can see he just like, nope, give up, don't give a shit about the attacking, right? It's not the best system. It's quite bad, I know, but it's a simple tutorial. It's nothing advanced and stuff. You can see the camera gets fucked up. To fix the camera, you can go to the mesh, go to collision, and there should be custom collision. There should be a camera. Let's just ignore that. And for the capsule, let's do custom and ignore the camera. So it doesn't collide with the camera, so it doesn't give us some weird ass bugs, you know. Second, what I am so excited to do is the spawn system. So today we're just gonna hop around some bugs, we're gonna fix some bugs, we're gonna add some things. So we're gonna add the spawning system. So like in every RPG or survival or horror game, you will need a spawning system, right? So let's make a spawning system. Yeah, so right click, go to blueprint class, let's do an actor, let's call it BP spawn, I guess spawn, I don't know. Just open that up. So we're gonna add a component called box collision. So just click on that. Let's call it bound, and let's go to collision, uncheck that, and have no collision, so it doesn't collide with anything. It's gonna fuck everything up. You can delete everything in the event graph, search for begin play, and we're gonna do for loop. So now it's getting complicated, isn't it? It's gonna get more complicated later, trust me. This this is just the start, okay? I'm just saying. So let's promote the last index. So that will be our spawn amount. So how many actors you will actually spawn. So the first index should be 1. So yeah. And we're gonna create a new function. Let's call it spawn character. And just plug that into our loop body. So whenever he loops, it's gonna spawn an actor. Now the complicated stuff will happen. So we're gonna get the bound, get component bounds. Sorry. Then from the origin, random pointing bound, and just hook up the box extent to the half size. So it's basically a random pointing bound. That's all. Now we're gonna actually spawn it. So just from the spawn character function, spawn actor from class. And you can see there will be few pins as class, spawn transform. I think that's the hardest thing that we will need to actually do, and the collision. Collision is basically try to adjust but always spawn, and the class is our enemy AI, so enemy BP. Now the hard part is the spawn transform actually. So we're gonna make the transform, right? And you would be like, oh, we can just hook it up. You're right, we can just hook it up, you know, we just can drag that pin into our spawn transform and make rotation. Make rotation. We're gonna do random float. So it's basically gonna be randomly rotated, I guess. So it's not like, you know, it's different. So what we're gonna do is do a line trace. How I have said it before, line tracing is actually good. First things first, let's drag this here actually. Let's drag that out. Now let's do the object type. So make array. So world static. And we can do draw debug as for duration, so we can actually see the debug. So right here we're gonna drag this out from the random pointing bound. We're gonna do a break vector, and from the X we're gonna do make vector. So we are breaking it and making it. I know that sounds fucking weird. That sounds like, what are you doing, man? So from the Z value we're gonna do plus, do like 10,000, put that to the Z value, and plug the return value into the start. So we have the start done. Good job.
Good job.
Now we actually need the end. To get the end is pretty shit. So we're gonna get actors up vector. So we are actually doing this all so they don't actually float in the air. So whenever the line trace hits something, for example, the floor, you know, the floor or something like that, it's gonna actually spawn it there, so it doesn't actually float. So we're gonna do multiply the actor of vector. I'm gonna convert that pin into an integer, and we're gonna set it to -1. So the integer to be multiplying is -1, and we're gonna do plus, and convert this pin into float. Let's set it to like 15,000, and from the make vector that we set, you can see it here, we're gonna do add, and add the get actors vector, so that we created. I know this looks complicated. Just follow me. I'm not gonna really explain a lot because you probably won't understand. Like, who would? Like, come on, man. So basically this is how it should look like. From the bound we get the component bound, and then a pointing bound, break the vector, add the X and Y to the make vector that we created. The Z is plus 10,000 goes into the Z make vector that goes to start. Then we are getting the actor sub vector that we are multiplying by integer -1. Then we are adding 15,000, and then we are adding the make vector to the 15,000. So that's basically it. Let's test it out. We're gonna do some more, but let's test it out. So let's drag that in to BP spawn. And right now when you actually like spawn, it's not gonna do anything because we haven't set the number. So in the details there should be, so we haven't actually enabled so we can actually see. So back in the BP spawn, the spawn amount, right, it should be instance editable and exposed on spawn. So now we should, you can see spawn amount, let's set it to like 2 for example, and if we play, they are floating in the air. So my bad, I made a little mistake. So now we need actually to, from the out hit, we have to break it. So if we break it, so the impact point should go into the location. That's why it didn't actually work at first. So if we actually compile and save it now, and if we play, you can see the 2 of them actually spawned, but they are kind of brain dead. They don't actually do anything right now. So to make them move and stuff, from the spawn actor enemy, it's a simple node, spawn default controller. So just click on that, and now if we play, you can see they are wandering around, and hopefully there will be no bugs. If you have any bugs, just comment it down below. You can see they will attack the same, they will behave the same as every single AI. So